Hello, this is Matt. Once again, we're refocusing Barbados. I want to focus my attention on the front page of yesterday's Sunday Sun newspaper. And I'm looking at a picture here of a young lady with triplets and a grandmother. The young lady is smiling. No doubt she's a happy mother for now. But as you read on, you go on and turn the page and you read the article, you would realize that this young lady is having a difficult time. And the truth is, there ain't much for her to be smiling about. But the focus should not be so much on the young lady, but on the person who is said to be the father. The young lady is saying, based on the article, that from the time she told the young man that she's pregnant with triplets, the young man bailed out. And his family seemed to have added that there are not twins or triplets in their families. So, he doesn't have to father these children. This is a problem of one I've seen today in our culture, in our society, I should say. The problem of irresponsibility. Now that family is telling that young man, you don't have to be responsible because there's never been an occasion where there are twins or triplets in our family. So don't take any responsibility for getting a young lady pregnant and she has triplets. Bail out, man. They're encouraging that young man to be negligent. And I'm wondering where that young man's mother is, if she's alive. What is she saying to him? Because I'm reminded of something that my good friend Marsha Hines Lane always tells me. That mothers make men. Mothers have to help young boys to be responsible and to be men. And it's true, we know that, the impact that mothers have on young boys. And it seems as though that young man is comfortable, very comfortable being irresponsible, even though he may have fathered 3 young children all at once. And he sees the weight of the responsibility that will be placed on him, and it's better for him to jump ship. So, what is he saying? You got 3 little children, I get you pregnant, so it seems, but you can find somebody else to raise them. I am going to be an absentee father. You are going to have to look for somebody or other people to raise those 3 children. And I have seen it repeatedly, and a lot of us out there have seen it, where fathers have been negligent, but when they get into old age, they look to those very children to take care of them. And this young man, at his age, he has no sense of responsibility. Now, when you look at that behavior, and you look at what is happening in our society when it comes to responsibility at all levels, in the schools, even in the churches, other institutions, in government especially, nobody wants to be responsible. Recently, you heard about 3 or 4 ministers say, not me, not me, not me, not me. It ain't me. This is a problem for our country, because it's showing that within our country, our men don't want to be responsible. Nobody wants to take responsibility. Everybody want to wash their hands. And you take a look at our parliament and the composition of it. And look at the younger members of parliament, those who have been there for 2, probably 3 terms. And you would realize something. That the pool from which they have been drawn, you cannot really assess it. You really cannot understand where that pool came from. Because that pool is a very irresponsible pool, a very don't care-ish pool. They do anything they want to do and don't care. When it was all said and done, it's in their problem, it's ours. They leave us to pick up the pieces, they leave us to pay the tab. We're the ones who have to face the taxes to pay them. They do as they like, but then the bill is ours. Do whatever they want to do, but we got to pay for it. But let me go a little further. Let me show you something, right? Let me show you something. If you really want to see how serious this whole problem of responsibility or irresponsibility, however you want to look at it is, turn to page 5A of the Sunday Sun. And the Minister of Finance, Chris Sinkler, is blaming Standard & Poor's for moving the goalposts. And why the problem with our credit rating is not affecting our people the way it ought to be affecting us is because credit ratings are not a part of our everyday language. This is something that we deal with on a daily basis. Most Barbadians don't even have to face credit ratings because they get cash and they won't buy what they want to buy. They don't understand it, they don't deal with it. It's not part of their psyche. So Chris Sinkler can come up and blast Standard & Poor's, right? He can say they're moving the goalposts, but the truth in fact is what he's saying, it can make any responsible for Barbados being in this position. That is what he's saying. And I'm going to say this. The problem with Chris Sinkler is that he doesn't know how to make money. That's the problem. If he had known how to make money, our country's finances would have been in a better position than they're in now. He doesn't want to take responsibility for it. He wants the job of Minister of Finance, but he doesn't want to have the responsibility for what has eventually happened to our country and its finances. The job is mine, but the problem is somebody else's, not mine. It is time for responsible government. We cannot have ministers of government shifting the blame or passing the blame on to somebody else. What's the next thing they're going to say now? It is one who vote for me. Yes, a very interesting weekend. Moving on from this. On Thursday evening, the Barbados Labour Party had its annual Tom Adams lecture. And my memories of Tom Adams is that he was a brilliant man. There's no doubt about it. Tom Adams was brilliant. He was one of the best I've ever seen. And I've been able to, in my life, to see 3 brilliant men lead this country. Walton Barrow, Tom Adams, and the great Owen Seymour Arthur. Brilliant, brilliant men. Tom Adams had vision. I'm going to tell you about one thing about Tom Adams. In the 1970s, when Tom Adams suggested that we have compulsory national youth service, the opposition rose up and society rose up. He wants to have a military state. Nearly 40 years since we now start to talk about it. He was way ahead of his time. But up to now we can't find ways to implement it. Even though the time is right for it, we can't find ways to implement National Youth Service. But we'll move away from that. On Friday, after the event was Thursday night, Friday people calling me, Matt, I hear Owen attended Barbados a party for Barbados lecture. I said, yes, so I was told. What do I mean? And I said, I am not a politician. How would I know what that means? He coming back? How would I know my name is Matt Donald Nichols? I am not Owen Seymour Alpha. How would I know? How would I know? And it went on Saturday, even yesterday, people asking me about Owen Alpha, if he coming back. Why ask me? Why ask me? But no, we talking about Owen Alpha. The question I want to ask is this: how would he have dealt with our credit rating? How would Mr. Alpha dealt with our credit rating if he were Prime Minister and Minister of Finance today? That's the question I want to ask. That is the real question. That to me, when you look at this Sunday, you see all this type of credit rating, we continue to have downgrade after downgrade after downgrade. I have to ask myself, how would he have dealt with Standard & Poor's? Would he have been passing the buck? Would he have denied any form of responsibility in light of the fact that Standard & Poor's downgraded us? Would he have accepted a downgrade? Or would he have allowed the country to reach a stage where the country is facing a downgrade? How would he have managed our finances? Based on his track record, how would he have managed this country? And that's the question I really want to ask. Not whether he's coming back or not. I didn't say publicly, I wish he would come back. I tell the truth. Because it's time for responsible government. It's time for good, sound leadership. But I can't answer the question whether he can come back or not. I ain't know. But one thing I can tell you, and I want to quote a lady who said to me on Saturday, one thing I tell you, brain like it's still working. Based on the budget's response, he brain like it's still working. Thank you. This has been Refocusing Barbados, and I'm Matt.